Welcome back to the Against All Odds, the Less Than 1% Chance podcast with your host, Maria Ponte, where we will hear stories of incredible people thriving against all odds. And my hope is that we can all see how life is always happening for us, even when we are the less than 1% chance. Hey, welcome back to Against All Odds, the Less Than 1% Chance podcast with your host, Maria Aponte. I am so excited. We're back for another amazing interview. I am just going to quickly introduce you. So he, at 22, realized that he couldn't conform to societal expectations. So he embarked on a transformative journey to the Himalayas on a quest for purpose, which I can totally relate to. Not to the Himalayas, but on the quest for purpose. Over 30 years, he traveled through Europe and Asia seeking answers until he encountered a master whose teachings shifted his focus inward. This led to a decade where he immersed himself in personal development and eventually facilitated groups. Through this journey and his studies in tarot and crystals, he honed his intuitive abilities, allowing him to create a unique approach to psychic readings that reveals deeper truths. Today, he helps bring clarity and empowerment to everyone who is on a path to freedom from themselves through crystal readings and coaching. So, welcome, Vinaya. I'm so excited to have you. Tell us a little bit of what brought you to where you are today. I would love to know.
Oh, that's could be a 10-year story. Basically, what you mentioned, what brought me here where I'm at right now is really, I grew up in Germany and really tried to be a good German.
Yeah.
When I was like 21 or so, no, that's not for me. And if life is just like being born, learning, working, dying, excuse me, what's the
Yeah.
point? So I went on a search and yeah, through many adventures and also later on going inside and becoming basically free of the German programming.
Yeah.
I wasn't really in it, but it was still like in the background running the show. So, like releasing that through groups and meditations and awareness exercises gave me freedom from myself. And what I mean by that is freedom from myself, the self we are supposed to be when we grow up as a German, a Christian, as a whatever.
Yeah.
So I became free of that. Mind you, sometimes things pop up still, but then through awareness is, oh, that's my father. That's not me. And so I'm not playing the game anymore. And in the meantime, basically also I was always somewhat intuitive. I could always see what is behind the story, behind the facade people showed.
Yeah.
And I'm a crystal freak for 50 years collecting
Me too. I
and
love them.
working with them and all of that. I basically now am able to really do what I came here to do in this incarnation, which is really helping people to become free from themselves, which is not themselves, but free from the programming,
Yeah.
stepping into their power. And I use crystals and a specific deck, which is not tarot, hard to explain. It's basically stories from enlightened beings, make things clear.
I
And
love that.
yeah, give a deeper insight or insight from a different angle. And yeah, basically, besides being a tourist on planet Earth, my job, which I put myself into, crazy
Yeah.
as I was actually helping people to get out of the story, get
That,
out of programming, out of the story,
yeah.
really stepping into their own power and following their path of becoming more aware, becoming more empowered,
Yeah.
not playing the game.
It's definitely I'm a freak of crystals too. I love them. I have so many back here. I and I feel like I've gone through my own like mini spiritual journey as well. I grew up very Hispanic Catholic, very ingrained in that culture. And I don't, I, not that I There's still things that I believe in. However, I feel so much more open spiritually. Like I feel like things are so much more simple
Oh yeah.
than the organized religion of it. And so I've been through that journey of maybe being a kind human being, compassionate and caring, and really listening to that, what I know to be like the solar plexus, my gut feeling, my
Yeah.
that when we pray to God, to whoever you pray to, but when we listen to that intuition, I feel like that's God, universe, whoever you're praying to, that's their conversation back to you, their
Yeah.
response.
Yeah. And when you say that, it's so when I started the journey, it was like a heart feeling. It was like a knowing I have to go. And there's one trick also which the mind plays on us. Anyway, so I went to my parents, and I'm going to India. And my mother goes, "You can't do that." Why not? Because you need to work, you need to have a pension, so you need to take care when you're old. Absolutely perfect argument. Absolutely right. Okay, my heart was too strong, and I just said to her, when I'm old, I figure out what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to India. And I've been following my heart ever since, never really knowing where it's next going or
Yeah.
what's happening next or what's in the cards, so to speak.
Yeah.
Always following my heart. And what I also learned is that, and that's maybe a good trick for everybody, don't listen to your mind. Heart suddenly goes, I want to go to Spain. And your mind goes, no, you can't. You don't speak Spanish. You don't have money. You don't know how to get there. And what's going to be all very good arguments.
Yeah.
And we want to understand possibly that the mind always works out of past experience. It does not know about the future. I've never been to Spain, so how can my mind know how it is? It's not possible. So, not listening to the mind, even though the arguments are first class,
Yeah.
but my heart says, no, it's Spain. Or in my case, it's India.
Yeah.
And I follow my heart for 50 years and I have an absolutely fantastic life. Amazing
That's so
pictures, no worries, no fear, no nothing, because I learned deeply that when I follow my intuition, my heart, my gut feeling, whatever you want to call that, it's always right.
yeah.
And I also learned if I don't, and that's maybe a good example. I went with a bike to town to do some shopping, and I always put my key on my belt, period. That morning, for some reason, I wanted to put it on my bag. And I knew instantly that's not a good idea. And that's also a good trick. The heart and the gut is instantly there. But a split second later, my mind goes, what's the problem? You always take care of your bag. Yeah, that's right. So I put it on my bag. An hour later, the bag was full. A friend went home a few miles away. I said, hey, can you take my bag? I knew it.
Forgetting.
I knew instantly. The mind has always good arguments. So learning to listen to this first faint voice
Yeah.
is a really good idea. And maybe as a little plus, a good exercise, how to learn to listen to your heart is say, in my mind comes, I want a coffee, or I want a cigarette, or I want to go to the disco. Then I stop, I close my eyes, I become conscious of my breath, and then I go, heart, I am in the disco. How does it feel? Heart, I am in Spain. How does it feel? Heart, I'm having a cigarette. How does that feel? Then I know. That's like learning to listen to this voice by actually asking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so important. I was a single mom for many years, but every time we would move anywhere, it was always So this one, I'm going to use this particular situation. There was this one time where right after my divorce, we were in the process. I was supposed to move for work purposes somewhere, and my ex-husband ended up fighting it and whatever. And so the court sided with him. I couldn't move, so I needed to find a place because I already had a place where I was supposed to move to.
Yeah.
So I live in Orlando now. I've lived in the Orlando area for almost all my life. And I was supposed to move to Miami, which is 4 hours away for work. And I had to move back up to Orlando. And so I went with a realtor to help me find a house. And I told him these are the things that the things that I'm looking for. And he was like, "Okay." So he had a list of places to go. And I was like, yeah, I would walk in and I'd be like, no. And
Mm.
he's, you haven't even seen it. And I'm like, no, I don't know. I can't explain it. And so as we're going from place to place, I find one that is slightly above what I wanted to pay. So I was like, hey, how about this one? This is higher than what you wanted. And I'm like, yeah, but let's go check it out. And so he makes the arrangement. We go and check it out. This is the last house that we see that day. And I walked in and I was like, yep, this is one. You haven't even seen it. I said, I can't explain it to you, but my gut, my heart, my everything inside me is telling me this is the one.
Yeah.
And it ended up being such the perfect place for everything that I needed in that moment.
The heart always knows.
It is so beautiful to allow yourself to listen to that and forget the logical aspect of it because you're right. It always has such great input that you're going to be like, maybe not.
Yeah, that's a good argument machine.
Yes, it's,
And always wrong. It's
yeah,
okay. It's right when I need to repair a car or figure out how to paint or do things like this in the 3D world.
yeah,
But for my path or my what is right for me, I don't know, but I do know.
yeah,
And really, this is such a good tool to really step into your uniqueness and into your power to listen to that, no
yeah,
matter the mind. It's scary sometimes. Yeah, I had no idea I didn't even know how to get to India basically. I just
yeah,
started hitchhiking and taking buses and trains, but it was absolutely right. And then also there were moments in my life where I knew this place is done, but I had no clue where to go. Okay, I know it's done. And then I just sit, be present, and wait. Not in 5 minutes or something, but then I'm being there. I know I have to move or I will move. And I'm waiting for a signal. I'm waiting for an inspiration. I'm waiting for a hello from existence.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. So beautiful. So the phrase, I can't do it. Is it true?
No.
The short answer is no.
Because if I have not tried it, I don't know.
Yeah,
If and this is really interesting because I'm going to start to do collective readings on Instagram starting tomorrow every week, where we can put awareness into what is important to become aware of in this time.
yeah,
And there's one story about an archer, and that's I cannot do it. I'm focusing on the goal, like I want to build a house or whatever
yeah,
I think I cannot do, but it feels right. So then I focus on that. I see the goal, see what I want to do, and then I drop it and do the first steps. Because also I'm out of the future, I'm right back in the moment. So I'm really aware what's going on. I'm really becoming aware what is needed as next steps. And then maybe at one point I find out, nah, that actually doesn't work for me. Great.
Yeah.
But I tried it. But starting with I cannot do it, who says so? Maybe my father said I can't paint, but actually I can. I didn't know until I actually tried. So when
Yeah.
that mindset comes up, I cannot do it, but I want to do it. So I'm starting.
Yeah.
And then I go from there.
I love that. I love that. I always tell my kids, my kids are now older. My oldest is 21. I have a 20-year-old and my youngest is 17. But anytime I hear them have a desire, I will always tell them I honor and support your intentions. Go for it. Because
Yeah.
who am I to tell them no? Obviously, I'm here to guide them. And if I see them going down a path where I can be of more knowledge and help and support, I will be there. I was telling my daughter yesterday, listen, you make choices. When you decide that you're gonna do something funny, that a saying that I tell them every day is make good choices, don't do stupid shit. And that it just gets a chuckle, right? Okay, mom, I won't do stupid shit. But ultimately, she's a teenager, so she's gonna do stupid shit. So I told her so yesterday, I'm talking to her about something that was not the greatest decision, and I said, listen, you have free will to make the mistakes that you're making or choose the things that you are choosing. I also am still your parent, and I also still have a responsibility to show you that good and bad choices have good and bad consequences. So if you do something stupid, there's gonna be a consequence to it.
Yeah. And there's this one, I don't know who said that, but it's really great. I made so many mistakes in my life and I learned so much. I think I make a few more.
Exactly. Listen, she's, Mom, I need to make these mistakes in life, or you need to let me make these mistakes. I'm like, go for it.
Go
Just
for it.
know that I am teaching you what life will teach you. Good and bad choices have good and bad consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just being a teacher. That's all.
Also, like Osho, I can't really quote him directly, but it's basically saying when you raise kids, let them make the mistakes.
Yes.
Only protect them from physical harm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they want to run on the street, you stop them. That's a mistake you don't want to make. But if they want to fall in, if there's water in there, let them fall in. You pull them back out.
Yeah.
Then that's
Yeah, they learn.
how we learned. And yeah, yeah. So that
I think that, yeah, I've again being raised the way that I was, I think that I was so overprotected that it didn't allow for freedom to feel like you could make these choices and have autonomy over what you're doing, and in a loving way still have the ability to make mistakes and own them and move and still feel like you're loved and you're not
person or whatever.
shunned. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I try. I'm making mistakes as a parent too, so
Don't come with the manual. So and they're all different. So yeah, I was a single dad too. And did I make mistakes? Probably. I did my best, but that's all we can do.
that's all we could do. I told them, I was like, there's no manual for you.
No.
Each of you are so different,
Yeah.
so very different. There is no manual to tell me this is how to do things. So I'll be the first to tell you that, man, I make mistakes. And yesterday morning, if you would have asked me how I would have reacted to the mistake that you made, you probably would have been smacked to back to 1 years old. And now I'm having a conversation with you. You see, it's evolution of I don't have to put energy into getting upset. I just need to have the energy to have that conversation with you so that I could guide you in a better way. So that next time you maybe think twice before doing the things that you are doing.
Or you just go ahead and do it and don't listen to mom and find out for yourself. It actually worked for me. It didn't work for mom, but maybe it actually works for me. I don't know. So I tried
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, absolutely. Always tell them, listen, my goal is to raise kind humans that have love and compassion and are happy and healthy. That's my goal in life, is that. I'm not gonna steer you into you have to be a doctor or listen, you do whatever your little heart desires. However, I will always
Support.
want the basic important things for you. Health, happiness, and like unconditional love and support from me as well. So it's fun. Fun being a parent.
Quite a bit of work.
Yes. So one of my favorite things that I think that really altered me in so many ways was meditation. So could you give us a little bit more insight on what is meditation?
Absolutely. Fantastic. Love it. So there is this little bit of discrepancy. I am doing a meditation, be it staring at the wall or yoga or what have you. I'm doing something. Being in meditation is a different situation. When one is really inside in meditation, the ego, is not doing anything. I am in the space of observing. And maybe that needs some clarity. It's like absolutely clear when I show you my phone. Here's my phone. It's absolutely clear that I'm not the phone. I have to be separate from the object I'm observing in order to observe it. I think
Yeah.
everybody can understand that. So I can observe my body, even with closed eyes. I can observe my mind. I can observe my emotions. Obviously, I'm none of these things.
Yeah.
And when I'm in that space of observation, there's no action. There's just watching. There's just beingness. And then everything changes. Then I'm not in pain. There's pain. But I'm not in pain. I am observing this pain. The
Yeah.
pain doesn't necessarily go away, but out of my experience, suddenly it's like I don't really have anything to do with it. I'm still experiencing or observing the experience, but I'm not in it. I'm not angry. No, there's anger, and I have to let it flow, but I'm observing it. And the funny part is like suddenly and then I have a distance. I'm not identified with the situation. And that for me is meditation or being in meditation. And one can practice this washing. I can be in meditation, washing dishes, be on the toilet, walking, whatnot. I don't need to sit in the corner at 6 o'clock in the morning and stare at the wall or whatever. No, I just want to be aware and as much as possible, remembering to observe,
Yeah.
step back. And that for me is being in meditation instead of doing in meditation, because then I am doing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the difference is amazing. And I invite everybody to try that out, just like learning. And I have on YouTube a course of 5 weeks, which is really fun, of how to become more the observer, be the
Yeah.
watcher, it's called. And all enlightened masters basically just point to the same thing. It's don't be identified. Just be present and observe what's going on. And then suddenly, yeah, I'm still or there is still the experience, but I'm just sitting on a couch somewhere in my head and watching the movie going by.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So if, when my oldest was around anywhere from like 10 to 12 years old, during that time period, I was dealing with my own health issues. I was experiencing cancer as a single mom, and My oldest had just been diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Mm.
And she was, again, only around 12 years old, but this had been going on for many years. I don't believe that she's bipolar. However, that was the diagnosis that they were able to come up with in that time period. It was a really tough time, and mornings were the hardest thing for us every single morning. For her to wake up, it was always like this all out fight and all the things, right? So I needed to come to myself and make a change because I realized with the observations that I was coming to the mornings with anxiety about what was to come because the evidence of everything that I had gone through over the last years has been every morning it's a fight and every morning she's upset. And so I realized while I was observing myself that, oh, I'm already going with the energy of anxiety into waking her up in the morning before school. And I had to open my eyes to what I was bringing to the table. And so I started to wake up a little earlier and really observing myself and the energy that I brought to the interaction. And then became a little, with that, I became a little more intuitive on how to make changes. So she needed to feel in control. Her biggest issue was feeling out of control. So to help her, I was going to give her something that made her feel more in control. So if I had to wake her up at 7, for example, I would go in there after I did at least 5-10 minutes of just like breathing deep, getting in a good headspace, like allowing the good energy inside me to just radiate out. And that's what I would envision was this like beautiful purple light out, and I could feel it in my hands. It was just really healing. So that's how I calmed myself down. As you could tell, purple is my favorite. All shades of purple. My hair is purple. Like it's my favorite. But I feel that's the color that calms me and makes me feel grounded and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's what I would imagine. But I started to wake her up like at 6:45. And I would go in there, I'd be like, "Good morning, baby. It's time to get up." And it was such a different energy rather than, "Hey, get up. Come on. Good morning. I need you up." And I remember the shift that when I would tell her, "Good morning. It's time to get up, baby. Do you want me to give you another 15 minutes so then you can wake up?" And she's, "Okay. So I'll wake you back up in 15 minutes, but at that time you have to get up, okay?" "Okay." And I would go back in there at the time that she had to actually wake up, and it was a different, it's just such a different reality than what we had been experiencing. I was just like, "Oh my gosh." The two little things that I was able to change was those two things. Becoming a little bit more intuitive on how to approach her and what energy I was putting into it.
Yeah, because through the observation, you became more present to
Yeah.
what it is and intended and just went into a different space. And that's the one important thing in this time that we all, or as many as possible, come into the space of beingness. And when we are present, we don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Energy radiates, and then suddenly everybody lights up.
It's such a different experience.
And it's amazing. And you mentioned breath. It's one thing, also like a little trick for your listeners. And maybe, well, you probably know it already. So when you're mind fucking, you're in Japan, even though you're sitting in Mexico, or being on the bus or whatever, or thinking about something you didn't do or whatever, and you become aware that you're totally stuck in the mind. Instantly, just become conscious of your breath. How the breath goes, it's not even a concentration, it's just being conscious of the breath going in and out. Feeling it, observing the feeling, and seeing the breath going in and out. You're instantly out of your mind.
Yeah.
Those things don't work together. It's
Yeah.
like an amazing trick. Or I'm angry. That's actually being stuck in an emotion. Closed eyes, but being conscious how the breath goes in and out. Boom, the story is gone.
Yeah. My oldest, she deals still with some anxiety and so forth. And when she texts me, because she doesn't live with me anymore, but when she texts me, Mom, I feel like I'm having a panic attack. And I'm like, give me three things that you can describe to me right now that you can see or feel or whatever. And it's so that she can concentrate on being present in the now and just those little things that I'm looking at a blue car that has silver rims or something that you can explain to me what is happening to get you to calm your breath and just be present in the moment, because the first thing I tell her is, okay, take a deep breath, and I need you to explain to me three different things that you can see right now or feel right now and explain it. Give me detail. And if she doesn't give me detail, I'll ask, so what does that feel like? Or how does it smell? Or something so that she can come down with her breath, because usually when she's in anxiety, she's breathing hard. Yeah. And it's just those little things. Again, I learned all of that from these circumstances that I've had to
Go through, yeah.
go through myself. And I'm like, okay, if it's helped me, then those are maybe tricks that I could help her. And I think that my spiritual journey has definitely allowed me to be more of an extra tool for them to be able to learn tricks and tips and stuff for themselves.
Yeah. And worry and anxiety is one of the favorite pastimes in these times.
Tell me about it.
And what I tell people who are really into the story, like worrying and being afraid or whatever, the trick which works so far for pretty much everybody is, okay, I'm worried about tomorrow. I have to blah, blah, blah. Or I'm worried about that I won't have any money, or whatever the worry is or the anxiety is. Again, the trick is stop, breathe, open your eyes. Everything is fine right now. There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So still standing, the food is still in the kitchen, the kids are still okay. Right now, everything is fine.
Yeah.
And if there is a possibility that tomorrow is going to be trouble, I will cross that bridge when I get there. But right
Yeah.
till that moment I get to that bridge, everything is great. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. In 99.9% of the cases, everybody can see, like right now, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, I don't remember where I heard this in one of those many different times that I was presented with words that really shook me in a good way. I heard, if you live in the past, it's suppression. If you live in the future, that's anxiety.
Yeah.
But what if you live in the present, which is the presence or the gift of life? And I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense.
It's
When
the
I
only
was,
thing there is. There's
yeah,
nothing else because past is gone, future is not going to happen yet or
yep,
hasn't happened yet. So the only thing, and that's again this, the way to freedom is really again and again remembering. here and now. And this just 5 breathings,
Yeah.
becoming aware. Best is close your eyes and just breathe. Open your eyes and wow,
Yeah.
dang, this is wow.
Yeah.
And then I can, and okay, what comes now is also like when we said before, like being in meditation is doing nothing. That doesn't mean that I have to sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
But when I move, it does not come from my head, it comes out of my being. And then
Yeah.
I'm still in meditation, even though I'm washing the dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it always comes, everything comes back to being here and now. And never mind, I forget. But by and by, you get more and more faster in realizing, wait a minute, I'm already in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes I sit down because we do retreats, and so I have to make a meal plan and I have to prepare for the future, but I'm doing that in the present.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a difference, which in my book makes all the difference.
Absolutely. So you say you do psychic readings and so forth, right? So I guess why, if you were doing a psychic reading for me, why should I listen to you and how do you know?
Okay, A, don't listen, try it out.
I love it.
I give you whatever is needed for you to hear.
Yeah.
And what was the second part of the question?
And how do you know?
Oh, how do I don't know nothing. I call myself a tourist on planet Earth. I have no clue what's going on. How it works is I, with your permission, connect with you energetically and
Yeah.
ask your higher self, your higher being, your spirit guides, spirit doctors, spirit helpers, and all who work for the highest good and benefit of all to let me be a clear channel and guide to convey what needs to be conveyed for the highest good and benefit of all. And basically, with that little exercise I have before, which is also breathing,
Yeah.
the Vinaya steps aside. And one time I gave a reading, and this woman goes, "You're really in my head.
How
So
are you in here?
your head is in my mouth." Basically, I just let go and I just talk and I just let flow what comes. Even though sometimes, and that's funny, I'm always laughing at that, my mind goes, "You can't say that." Anyways, and 100% it's like, yeah, yeah, that feels right. So it's again, not listening to that mind unless you repair a car is a very good idea, especially when you work as a medium, as a psychic, or want to work with people that I don't know anything about you. So why would I know what meditation is good for you? I don't.
Yeah.
I have the ability to energetically connect and then you talk through me. And that's basically how it works.
Yeah. So the way that so I've had on my heart for many years to start a podcast for many years. And fear, your brain gets in the way. And it was always like, oh, but I really want to, but oh, how would I even start that? And a few years ago, so my dad was sick with cancer and my mom was working, so I really took care of him. I took him to appointments and so forth, and I did all the things for them. I was his primary caregiver as my mom worked. And I really felt that I needed like a retreat from that. And I have a friend that I actually did my Reiki 1 and 2 with. And so she's the Reiki master that I did that with. And so she moved from Orlando to the Pacific Northwest. And so I went and visited her for a few days. And I ended up doing I don't remember what the name of it was called, but basically she spoke to my higher self in that,
Question?
yeah. So I came back and said that I was going to have a podcast, that it was going to be called Against All Odds. And it was because I have overcome all these obstacles in my life that have been incredibly odd in terms of statistically, I really shouldn't necessarily be here. However, there's a greater purpose for it. And so I connected with my twin. My mom had a miscarriage and I stayed. And typically, especially in the time that I was born in the 80s, when you go through a miscarriage, your body expels everything. And I stayed. And so it was very uncommon and it was very dangerous, many different things. But I stayed and I fought for that. And in this retreat that I had with her, I connected with my twin and it gave me this sense of peace because I've always felt like something was missing, like another part of me was missing. And so it was really beautiful, but it just felt okay, this is what I need, what needs to happen. And right after that, my dad got really sick. He ended up passing away a few months after that. And so maybe 5 or 6 months after he passed, I went to a mindset conference and they were like, do something that you've been holding on to, that you feel in your heart is what you want. And like before you leave today, you need to do a massive action on it. And I started a podcast. I did all the things that were technical. Like I created a deadline for when I wanted to launch it. I opened this website. I like all the things, right? But things that I wouldn't have taken massive action on if I wouldn't have been like, hey, this is your goal or your task for today.
Yes.
And so I think it's so beautiful when you connect to that because it shows you what your dreams really are rather than what's superficially in your brain.
And that's what my readings are basically about. It's like very often I hear, yeah, yeah, I know that. Thanks for the reminder. And it's a
Yeah,
verification. So basically, what comes out is what are your gifts? Why are you here? How do I get there?
yeah,
What are the next steps? And then it's up to the person to do that or not. But basically, seeing the light in their eyes when they actually get verified, and like, then it's also like somebody who doesn't know me tells me what I actually know, but I think I'm crazy. Like,
yes,
who am I? What do I think who I am? And then suddenly somebody else tells me the same thing. Oh, it's probably true because I'm not just imagining things. That's like very often in the reading comes out that, yeah, okay, great.
I
And
love that.
really helping people. And it's amazing. I do this for like on and off, maybe not every day, 10 minutes, every 10 minutes, but for 30 years. And
That's beautiful.
I've never ever experienced anybody not coming out of the reading like with the glowing eyes. And it was always spot on. But
Yeah,
like I say again, I don't know anything, but you do.
yeah,
The all that is or whatever speaks through, it's not an archangel, somebody from Sirius, it's you
yeah,
who's talking. And except that we've been programmed to forget what we know and told that we are crazy or that's not the way to do it and blah blah blah. Yeah, you don't do things like this.
yeah.
Actually,
Agreed.
I
So, give me some helpful tricks how to become more aware of yourself.
okay, a general trick would be the breathing and then observing where you're at and what the feelings are and all of that. And on top of that, there is no general trick. It really depends where you are at. Some people, or actually many people these days, have really intense trauma.
Yeah,
Nothing you can do unless you first release the trauma from the physical, because that's is stuck in the cells and in the nervous system. And that runs me. And no matter how easy things sound, it's impossible for me because I'm still stuck in this freeze state because I couldn't fight or I couldn't run away for whatever reason. I was whatever. So I freeze and the energy stays. And that runs many people. And that comes up often in readings where, okay, this is what you might want to remember after you release the trauma, because that's the
Yeah.
first step you need to do. So again, it's really depending on the individual. Sometimes it's the reading normally takes about an hour. Sometimes it's 10 minutes because they're already so in class number 10
Yeah.
that it's just a little tingy. And sometimes there's really more to say and more understanding needed and more feeling into it. And then again, what you said or what you asked me in the beginning, don't do what I say. Don't believe what I say. Try it out and see.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
I love it. I love it so much. So, what are some daily habits that have gotten you to help you reach the level of success in your spirituality or where you are today?
I'm really bad with habits and discipline.
Breathing seems to be a good one.
Fun.
Breathing awareness of your breath is it sounds like a good one.
Yes, that's a good one. I don't really have daily practices. I, for sometimes, then do a certain exercise. I don't call it meditation anymore. A certain exercise for a little while, and then it drops because it probably did what it was supposed to do or what. It brought me more awareness. The only thing is really being aware of my mind
Yeah.
and then like really stepping back into the presence.
Yeah.
But that's an ongoing, it's not really daily practice, it's a moment to moment practice.
Yeah.
Like when I remember, oh, maybe there's one practice I do pretty much every day or exercise, which is being on the balcony or under a tree or even in town, whatever, but I'm hardly in town, but in my space, I close my eyes, I breathe a bit, become conscious of my breath, and then open my eyes. Wow. And I express my gratefulness to be able to have a body, to have this wonderful adventure, as crazy as it is.
Yeah.
And really expressing this gratefulness of being alive. That could be the only daily, once, twice, thrice, sometimes I forget, but more often not, what I do, what I really love to do, because it really brings me back into the space of gratefulness and thankfulness and yes.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I love practicing gratitude at any moment, and that to me is has been very instrumental as well. Were there any limiting beliefs or roadblocks that you had to overcome in order to get to where you are today?
There's actually a limiting belief I just in the process of changing,
Okay, I like it.
which is it's actually really hard to say because it's really a big picture of not stepping out, not becoming more vocal, not being really more visible and helping people to wake up.
Yeah,
There is this like limiting belief that nobody wants to listen anyways, and I can't do this, and I don't want to be a guru, and all of that stuff. And it's actually funny because that's a limiting belief, which is, I would say, about 99.9% gone in the last 2 weeks. I've been working on this.
yeah,
Some exercises, and tomorrow I'm going to start the Instagram again and share some experiences or some exercises and which people can do. And yeah, I'm in the process of stepping more out.
You started with me as well. Like, that's a good step.
Yeah, I've been doing podcasts, but it was always like I've been told actually that I cannot leave this existence until I actually do what I was supposed to do. And
That's
it's
powerful.
like, okay, it's about time to really let go of this idea of who am I?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? And it's just an old mind fuck. And it's a
Yeah.
belief. I know who I am.
Yeah.
And it's just this fear, a little bit of nobody wants to listen, which is actually also not true. It's just this old mind story.
Yeah.
And that's where I would say it's pretty much gone. I'm starting tomorrow to actually jump out and be the
I
weird guy
love it.
I am.
I love it so much. I'm all about it. All about it. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, this has been so good. I will listen to you. So you
Oh,
have one person.
yeah, maybe we could do a reading sometime.
Oh, I would love that. I am again very open to those things because I've seen how when someone is so beautifully in tuned with the universe, spirit, what beautiful things can come from that. So yeah, I'm definitely down whenever.
You know where you can find me? Psychiccrystalreadings.com.
Excellent. So I will definitely, I'm gonna also put that everything in the show notes so that our listeners could go and take a look at that as well. I'm really grateful for this conversation today because it's beautiful when life is going so fast to have the reminder of slowing down and just take a deep breath and be present in the moment. And I feel like this afternoon was a little more crazy than I expected. And I got in and I was like, oh my gosh, let me just let me get on and prepare everything. And so it felt really good to just oh yeah, I could take a deep breath and I am here and present and I could have an amazing conversation. And it really, yeah, it was exactly what I needed today. That's life happening for me and not to me.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, it was so amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, listeners. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, you got as much out of today as I did because seriously, this was incredible. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks so much for listening. Peace out. Love your life. Bye.